Hello class, you are once again welcome to another lesson on Introduction to Autodesk Maya. Today we are going to talk about the interface of Autodesk Maya as you've seen it over here. When you launch Maya, this is what you would see in your window. I'm using Maya 2020 Update 2. Yours might be slightly different, but it still doesn't take away the fact that the tools are the same. The only new ones that are added are always indicated by these green brackets next to each tool, as you can see over here and over here. So this is the interface of Maya, and the very first one that we are going to talk about is the menus and menu sets. This is the main menu over here. So we have 7 main menu. That's File, Edit, Create, Select, Modify, Display, and Windows. These are static. They don't change no matter what happens to your interface. But the rest of these, that's from Mesh going all the way up to the end, are dynamic. They change depending on the menu set that you have selected. So this is a menu set, and you have modeling, rigging, animation, FX, rendering, and then you can customize your own menu set as well. These menu sets are also tied to some shortcut keys, which are F2 for modeling, F3 for rigging, F4 for animation, F5 for FX, and then F6 for rendering. So observe what happens over here when I press these keys in succession. So we have F2, that is the default one, which is modeling. F3, you see it has changed to rigging, and then the menus have also changed as well. F4, and then we keep on going all the way up to F6. So that is how the menu set works in Maya. If you click on this menu, you will see a dotted line up above it. Any menu that you click on and you see this dotted line means you can tear it off like this. You click on it, and now it becomes a floating panel for you to dock anywhere, so that you can always have access to it, especially when you are using Create, for example, and you need to have it always at your beck and call. Then you can close it because it is still accessible over here as well. Let's talk about the status line. This entire stretch is the status line. I have expanded my status bar, but you should see that yours would have these lines with some triangles or arrows next to them. So yours would be a compressed status or status line. Under the status line, we have the menu set over here, where you can change the various menus that you want to work with depending on how you are working, as I explained earlier on. And we have the file buttons, which is a new scene, open scene, save, undo the last action, redo the last action. We're not going to talk about every item on the status line, because it's not every item that you use when you are starting out. As you advance in your 3D career, then you would learn more tools and techniques. So we're just going to stick with the common ones that you're going to use in this class. This is selection, that is selection by hierarchy, components, by object type. Then we have the snapping tools, which is snap to grid, snap to curves, snap to point, snap to projected center, snap to view planes, or make a selected object live so that it can interact with other objects. You have a drop down menu, that is if a live surface is in your scene. The next one is symmetry. You use that to activate symmetry on or off, as in how you are working. If you want whatever that you are doing on the other side of your object to be reflected on the opposite side, this is the symmetry. And then we have the construction buttons. This toggles history on or off. And then we move on to the render settings. These enable you to render the current frame. Open the render view, set an IPR render, go to the rendering settings or display the rendering settings, This is a hypershade. It brings up the hypershade window where you can edit all your tools and materials. Now talking about the last one over here, if you have an Autodesk account, you can sign in, manage your licenses as you have already purchased. Now when we move on to the very end of the status line, we see the sidebar options, these options over here. So you have the options of toggling on and off the modeling toolkit, the human IK window, the attribute editor, tool settings, as well as the channel box or layer editor. And these are all available here, and you can see them here as well. This is your sidebar options over here. Next on the interface tool is the shelves. This entire section is where your shelf is. The shelves contain the most commonly used commands available in the main menu over here. So they are categorized under the major menus that we have, that is modeling, polygon modeling, sculpting, rigging, animation, rendering, FX, and so on and so forth. As you use these shelves, you realize that you can create your own custom shelf. By default, Maya has a custom shelf for you, and you can add your own to it as well. This is how you add a command to a shelf. If I go to modeling, and under the modeling menu set, I have mesh, and I realize that I use triangulate a lot of times. All you need to do is press Ctrl and Shift on your keyboard, then you click on the triangulate. You realize that it would add it to your custom shelf for you. You can add as many as you want from all the menus that are available. It depends on how you work and the workflow that you use. So I'll add another one, just like that. So you keep on going on and on until you have what you need over there. You can also load your own custom shelf using these options over here, and you can edit the shelves that are available, but that is for an advanced class. And you can move to the previous shelf, the next shelf, save all the shelves. The shelves are created just to ease your work in Maya. Some tools and plugins that you would purchase or install come with their own custom shelves. With others too, you have to create your own, just like I added these over here. If you learn how to script using Python, then you can also create your own shelves with your own customized icons and commands. The next item is the workspace. The workspace selector allows you to select some predefined workspaces that people usually use when they are working in their 3D space. By default, you have the Maya Classic. That's what, when you load Maya, a new installation of Maya, it comes with. But you have different ones as well, and observe the change in the interface as I select the modeling standard. Now the bottom part is gone, which is the animation section. It's gone because you're not going to use the animation part for modeling. And we have modeling expert. Most of the toolbars and things are gone because now it assumes that you're going to use a hotbox. Sculpting, post sculpting, UV editing, and a whole others as well. Rendering, and then rendering expert, as well as mesh for motion graphics. If you move some of your panes around and you would like to reset it back to default, for example, I have the Maya Classic, and you can see that these dotted lines allow me to tear off certain panels and move them to places that I want. So I have moved it here, and I realize I did it by accident, so I want my shelf to be back where it is. All I need to do is come all the way up to the workspace selector, come over here, and then reset current workspace, and it will bring the default for the currently selected workspace. You can also create your own custom workspace, just like I moved the shelf over here, and then you can save the workspace as well. If you have a workspace saved from a previous installation of Maya or another workstation that you are working on, you can just load that one as well.